Hello, Divine Ones. This is Minister Ashley, and welcome to the School of Biblical Divination and Magic. In this video, I will be discussing salt divination, also known as Alomancy. Alo meaning salt, and mantia meaning divination. If you would like to know the significance of salt in the Bible, I have a video on my mother channel, and that link will be listed down in the description box. I strongly suggest that you watch that video really quick. It's only about 2 minutes long to be able to gather the most from this divinatory practice. Similar to Alomancy, there are several ways to practice this form of divination. One way is by the diviner casting the salt crystals into the air and interpreting the movements of the salt, or reviewing the salt patterns after the salt has landed, particularly on a flat, dark, dry surface. While there's no direct indication of salt throwing in the Bible, in the New Testament, halos is mentioned. The word in Hebrew for salt is mila. In the New Testament, Matthew 5:13, it mentions when a salt loses its potency, which technically cannot happen. It's an analogy. It is tossed out. Now, this could also represent symbolically a ritual of reading energy and intentions of others. Here, the salt is casted onto the ground. And this scripture references the intentions of people. If a person has lost their way, their function in life, their purpose, then they are saltless. They have no potency. So this could indicate a ritual or an intention through practice of throwing salt. One way how this could have also been used is when people walk on the salt and walk on dry land or a dry surface. A person can interpret the footprints that are left behind to determine a person's intentions, possibly even their past, present, and future. Another way how to utilize this practice is allowing a bit of water and salt to dry in a bowl to read the patterns of the salt. One can hold the salt in their hands and ask a question, cast the salt into a cast iron pan and interpret the messages that way, or allowing the salt to slowly drop from your hands and read the flow of the salt. In Ezekiel 43:24, a method of sprinkling salt to interpret a message. In this particular scripture, it was a form of a burnt offering. The salt was to be sprinkled on the burnt offering that will help the diviner gain additional insight. And this segues into the form of pyromancy, which I have a video on this channel, which will be linked somewhere in the description and in this video. The diviner would take the salt and sprinkle it into fire and watch the patterns of the fire and salt. After the fire has burnt, they will examine the burnt salt residue to gain additional insight. This is a subset of Capnomancy, interpreting patterns and messages from casting items into the fire. This practice also included interpreting the smoke, which is known as Lobotomancy, which I have a video all about that. In Leviticus 2:13, it mentions that all offerings must include salt. In 2 Kings 2:18, Elijah conducts a ritual using salt to break a curse and purify the land in bitter waters. In some ancient magical practices, throwing salt over the left shoulder indicated good luck, preventing illness and curses and hexes and jinx. Spilling or wasting salt was considered to be unlucky. It is also synonymous with blood, urine, and also semen. When reading ancient texts, when you see salt, that this could be synonymous with either one of these. You can learn more about bodily fluids in my new book, The Bible's Hidden Divination and Magic, available on Amazon, both as an ebook and a paperback. Also noting that majority of the salt in ancient times was not finely grained salt, but more the size of either bigger crystals that they would chip off pieces of salt from. This also allowed them to use a bigger piece of salt crystal as a scrying tool. You can utilize this practice by taking table salt and dumping it out on a table and watching the various patterns as it falls out, but also as it lands. Ridges, lumps, or clumps indicate some form of a problem or difficulty concerning the situation in question. Make sure that you do like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below to let me know that you did make it all the way to the very end. Don't forget the appended video down below that goes into the detail of the symbolism of salt in the Bible. It's very beneficial and it helps to accompany the information here in this video. I have additional resources located in the description box, as well as the link to my new book, The Bible's Hidden Divination and Magic, now available. For those of you that do already have the book, thank you very much. Make sure you do go back and leave a 5-star review. It helps the analytics to be able to reach more individuals that need this information. And once again, this is Minister Ashley for the School of Biblical Divination and Magic, and I will check you on the next video. Many blessings.